Can I just point out, this is so much less awkward than when Tom did it, where Tom would just click and then just go,
and just sit and look.
"You ready?"
Yeah.
And we all just sit there with each other and go, "This is so awkward."
That was quite funny. I don't know why that happened. It was like for
He
1
kinda
week
just
and
sat
then
there
that was it.
And went, "You ready? You ready?" And we were just like, was there going to be nothing else going to this?
No.
It was just really awkward.
Welcome to the Blue Podcast Network and to the Blue Podcast.
Yeah.
We haven't got a guest this week, and we haven't got.
That's bugging me.
Oh, yeah. To be fair, it's not very visible,
No.
but it probably should change.
Thank
Yay.
you. That's completely our fault. Just
That's
putting
on
it out.
us.
Putting it out
Yeah.
there, it's completely our fault. Thank you, Lily.
Yeah, as you might be able
Thank
to
you.
tell, we haven't got Tom this week.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we're not as
all
organised.
of us just switched on. You went Blue Podcast, like, why is it still red?
I knew there was something I was forgetting. Damn. You're stuck with me this week, unfortunately. Unfortunately, Tom is enjoying himself in Morocco.
Oh,
Yes.
He's on a little
I
holiday.
want to be there, man. Looks so nice.
It does. I need a holiday.
Looks amazing.
So much. I might just, sell a kidney and go on a holiday. Because the only reason I can't go is because I'm broke as shit. I might need to just make some quick cash.
I mean, I don't think that's a good decision.
How
But
have we got to the...
I don't know. For God's sake.
Oh.
Yeah, so we haven't got Tom. We haven't got a guest either this week, unfortunately. It's just the three of us, the three amigos, the dream team. As I keep calling us, well, I call everybody the dream team. In all fairness.
True. We won't take it personal.
We decided to bring you guys a bit of something we haven't done for a while, and that is a rebuild.
Oh,
We're doing a rebuild of
my
Ajax.
beloved Ajax, man.
Ajax.
We need it. We really need it because
Yes.
last season was a joke.
We did one previously for Man United back when we were in the shitter.
I mean, you're not
we're
exactly
still are.
Yeah, well, you're not any far
We're
off.
still in the shitter, but it's a problem that isn't fixed with a rebuild. It's just giving time, in my opinion. But let's not get onto that too much.
that's another video for another
That's
day.
a video for another
Yeah.
day. We decided to do an Ajax rebuild today because they really are in the shitter. They are screwed royally and truly.
Yeah, we're
currently.
not great, but
Luckily, we have an expert to tell us all about the problems and how we can fix them.
yeah.
And so I'm going to hand over to Jamie, and he's going to give you a rundown as to what's going on.
So welcome. This means a lot actually. Let's start with last season. So we finished third in the table, which on paper doesn't
Not
sound
bad. No, that's good. That's decent.
Feyenoord won the league with 82 points. We were third with 69.
Okay,
So already
a bit of
that's
gap.
Nice.
That's a problem.
Nice.
That's a,
I'm so immature, but I don't get
that's a problem.
Yeah.
First of all, I've made a bit of a list here of everything that we need to change. So realistically, I'll start with our problems. Main problem here is we have no star players.
Right.
We've just sold Bergwijn. Our only kind of star player has just gone to Al Ittihad. Yep, done really well in his first game, but just kind of leaves us with a bit of a problem there. We have no strength in depth. If one of our key players get injured, we don't really have anybody else to come in.
Right.
Average age of our squad is 24 years old, which that's probably being nice. It's probably about 22 to 24. So it's a very young squad.
Is that not a positive, though? Because that's
Yes
always been your
and
thing about
no.
growing youth and stuff.
It's a positive but a negative because we've got no leaders in that team. I will get onto that in a minute. Also, we had a goalkeeper last season that was pretty good for us.
Yeah.
Sold him. Our starting goalkeeper's 40. So he's going to retire within the next few seasons. The other two goalkeepers we've got, one's in the youth team and the other one is like 21 years old. So we've got a bit of an issue there.
Bit of an issue there.
We've just signed David Klaassen yesterday, who is just come back to try and, plug that hole of not having any leaders.
Yeah.
We brought back Bertrand Traore, who's been good for us. And another one I think as well is Wout Weghorst, who hopefully can kind of be that kind of level-headed player that we need.
Yeah.
The issue we have is we've now got Brobbey, Weghorst, and Akpom in a one-striker system.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make sense when you've got a target forward. Brobbey's kind of a target forward as well, and then Akpom, who works well as like a kind of pressing forward, you would say.
Yeah, he's a kind of 10, isn't he? He's a kind of like attacking.
Yeah, he's an attacking
pressing
midfielder but
midfielder.
plays well. So realistically, at the end of this season, I've got a list of players that most likely are going to be wanted or will leave,
Okay.
which are Kenneth Taylor, one of our midfielders.
Yep.
Bergholst, just a well-known Dutch name, the
Yep.
right winger.
How old is he though? He's 30.
32, but he could. But yeah, but we had the same thing with, he could easily go off to Saudi Arabia, or
True.
he could easily go off to another club.
I don't see much interest in him, but if you went to Saudi and said, "Can we have some money?"
That's
they
my
probably
point.
would do it.
Yep. Sutalo will probably leave. Young Croatian centre back,
Mhm.
been brilliant.
Leipzig, written all over him. Leipzig.
Yep. Vrench as well, another player where when Timber left, he was going to leave as well.
Yeah. Mm.
Managed to keep him. Of course, we've got Mansverk as well, the Norwegian midfielder.
Mhm.
He's the kind of player that PSG will come looking for. Real Madrid, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And the one from our academy, Yoru Hato, who
Yeah.
realistically is wanted by every single club on the planet at the moment.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich.
Your one hope is that actually Ajax aren't performing well right now, and it might be a case of maybe they don't rate him as highly because Ajax aren't doing as well.
Nah.
You think? You think he's still going to go?
100%.
Okay.
He was our captain at 17. He's played for the Dutch
Yeah.
national team at 18.
Okay.
Captain at 17.
He's meant to now be the next Van Dijk
Okay.
or the next De Ligt.
So how
And
much
he will be.
How much do you reckon starting budget we'd have to make some signings, and also how much do you reckon we get for these players?
Oh, right. I'm going to try and work it out. So Kenneth Taylor, I think you're looking at about 50 odd million, 50 to
think?
60 million euros, yeah. It's going to be in euros, but I'll say 50.
Okay, so you can go a little bit higher with euros, so that it's more doable. I know
Yeah.
Kenneth Taylor has a good reputation, but I don't see anybody paying that much for any.
I'd say
Ajax
about
player right
I'd say about 40 million euros because he's also a starting Dutch national player. That's the thing.
Does Taylor start for the national
He
team?
pretty
Yeah,
much
okay.
he starts for our midfield.
Okay.
Bergholst, realistically, you're going to get maybe about 15 max.
Yeah, it's not going to be much. Is it? You thinking Saudi can pay big bucks, but they pay
Yeah.
big bucks in wages.
Yeah.
So
Rinch, once again, I think about 30.
I don't think it'll be that much. Personally, but-
Give or take, I said 30 million euros, about
Yeah.
20 million pounds. Sutala, I think, is the one that could go for give or take around 40 because of his age, because of how good he is.
I'm happier with the Shutalo one than I am with the Wrench one. I know Croatian centre backs are on a big right now, and so
Yeah.
it is. I've seen a lot of him. And
I'll calculate it all at the end. Mansverk, once again, I could see him leaving for about 25 million
Yeah,
euros, more or less. And then Hato, our asking price at the moment is 70 million euros. So if he was to leave, he's contracted to us until 2028.
Mhm.
We've got no reason to let him leave. If he does, he would leave for a lot. So let me just quickly calculate that.
And also, have we got some money left in the bank from previous years? Because obviously you've had some big sales. De Ligt and De Jong weren't that long ago. Trying to think who else is left who's massive from Ajax. There are a couple of other names. Ten Hag, we had to pay for Ten Hag, so that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've also got the likes of who went to Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Ziyech.
Ziyech, yeah, that's it.
Yep.
De Ligt was a massive transfer.
How much was
Anthony was a
Tadic? Anthony was 90 million,
massive
yeah,
transfer. Tadic left for
I'd forgotten
20.
about that.
Yeah, you wanted to ignore that. So let me just quickly add up here. So
See if you can suggest us a budget.
15, 30, I'm going to say 40, 25, and give or take 70 will give us about 200 million.
Fun. So
Give
we
or
haven't
take.
really got too much of budget concerns.
Not much in today's market.
Okay.
And
But
really,
I think we also have to consider reputation here. Ajax are kind of in the bin at the moment.
yeah,
And you don't have Champions League football, do you?
we have Europa
Europa
League
League.
football.
Europa League football. So again, you're going to find some limitations in
Yeah,
the
Exactly.
players that
So
you can
players
attract.
aren't going to want to join. Realistically, players we want to try and sign, we want to try and sign international players, so consistently playing at a high level for national teams, looking at Denmark, Norway, these kind of countries.
Mhm.
Realistically, to buy, you're looking at 24 to 27-year-olds. You don't really want to go any higher, but you want that kind of level of experience.
Mhm.
With a budget of 230 million is not exactly that much.
Mhm. Okay. So what positions are we looking for here? Are we going to need another whiteboard?
No, it's cool. I can use the back of this one. Don't
Okay.
worry. So I'll go
Cool.
for our targets as well. So this year, realistically, we want to try and get top 2 and try and get Champions League. That's what we
Okay.
should be aiming
That's
for.
what we're pushing for.
We
Get
should
back into the
be-
Champions League, yeah.
I don't want to say win the league because realistically we should be,
Mm-hmm.
but we should be getting top
Okay.
2 and Champions League.
Are there any positions we don't need to recruit for?
I think one key player in each position. So
Okay, cool. So
defi-
11 players.
definitely a goalkeeper,
Mm-hmm.
definitely centre back. I don't think midfielder. We don't need a centre midfielder.
Okay.
I think centre mid's fine, but I think a key winger, left or right. I think centre back, left back, right back, and goalkeeper.
Okay. And then we'll go from there.
I
We'll see
think
what budget we've
left
got.
wing, right wing, centre mid, and striker are pretty sorted. Sorry, not the wingers. Sorry, centre mid and striker are pretty sorted. We've got good
Good depth
level,
there.
yeah, good
Yeah,
depth
good
there.
depth. Okay.
It's pretty much the rest of the squad that's not great.
Cool. So straight off the bat, as you were kind of talking there, I picked up some key things like leadership being a key thing,
Yeah,
a bit of experience, and also a bit of an issue in goal with the 40-year-old goalkeeper.
yeah, no keepers.
I think I might have found you a decent goalkeeper. This is one of the highest performing goalkeepers in Europe at the moment this season. He's 27. Has played 4 games so far this season and played 360 minutes in that time.
Okay.
He makes 5.3 saves a game,
Right.
but they are quite spread out. So it's 0.3 in the 6-yard box, fair enough, but 2.5 from the penalty area and 2.5 outside the box. So very spread out in terms of where he's
Yeah.
making his saves. You'll know the name, but maybe not the player. His name is Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, who's
Yeah.
currently playing his trade at Torino.
Torino, right? Yep.
I think is he the starting Serbian keeper? I think he is currently. He's definitely in the squad.
Yeah, he's there or thereabouts.
wanna
It's him and
say
Rajkovic, I think.
I want to say it's him who starts.
Yeah, because Rajkovic, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's on the
yeah.
bench.
So roughly how much would that be?
I'm just going to have a quick look because I'm going to have to get the transfer back. We're doing this very much on the cuff. I don't know if you've noticed because I didn't
Yeah.
plan for.
No, but
plan for
I
that.
think it works because if
Well, it's good. It
if we have any
shows-
other players,
Yeah.
you know, because I was looking at, for example, when someone like Ramsdale left Arsenal, I thought he would have been a great player at Ajax.
Yeah, he
Mm.
could have been a really good option.
20 million, 25 million,
Yeah.
give or take, going outside of England. I personally think it could have worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
That's someone I probably would have gone for, but you know, it's not up to me.
It is now.
Yeah, now I have a chance.
I'm just going to have a quick look at the value because I'm using CIES because that is
Right.
the most reliable.
Fair enough.
Oh,
So I'll put that down as a
prices.
goalkeeper.
Problem is they don't have a valuation for Milinkovic-Savic, which is
That's-
pretty.
Yeah, I'm trying to rattle through some goalkeepers in my brain.
Transfer mark. We'll use that instead.
Okoye from Udinese has had a good start to the season.
I've
He's
seen good
he's,
things.
he's a good
Yep.
goalkeeper. I think he's around 27, 28, I want to say.
Oh, I thought he was younger. Than
He
that.
might be a bit younger. I'm not sure. But still, either way, he's a decent goalkeeper from what I've seen.
Yeah, agreed. Just to quickly caveat because I've just seen it as I'm looking at things.
Fair enough.
Andy Carroll's playing for Bordeaux at the moment.
Andy Carroll's
Yeah.
still playing.
Yeah.
He's playing for Bordeaux. I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, he says it. Well, speak on Andy Carroll. He's spoken on how he loves going out in France and not being recognised. You know, goes out and about and like he
there
can
are
go
a lot
out.
more
He can
horses
he
in
can
here,
go out
but,
with his children and just not have people running up to him for autographs or like photos. Because if he was still here, not as much as he would have
Yeah.
done, but I can imagine still every once in a while he'd get recognised and be like, oh hey, I want a photo. I used to play. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
fair enough.
I'm a Newcastle United fan or something like that.
So I've just put out the positions here. So we need a goalkeeper, right back, 2 centre backs, a left back.
a whole new back four.
Yep, left winger, right winger,
Okay.
and then I'll say a centre midfielder as well. Just like
Just
a,
to
Yeah.
throw
a,
something
a
else in there.
central midfielder as well. Just
A little
to
bit of
see.
spice, as it were.
Yeah,
So just a bit of evaluation on Milinkovic-Savic. He's valued at about 5 million,
about 5.
but I reckon he costs 10.
5 to 10, we'll say.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because again, this is transfer mark isn't as accurate, annoyingly,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
And this
Would
would
that
be a
be-
starting goalkeeper.
This guy would start for you, I reckon. Like I say, he's making quite a decent number of saves in in a lot of different areas. I haven't got. You could look more in depth at some of
Yeah.
the statistics and his passing out from the back. I'm not too sure about, but if you're looking for a classic goalkeeper, I definitely am convinced of
Okay.
him.
And would you see this kind of player being able to, you know, fill in a position of a team that realistically should be getting consistent Champions League football, pushing latter
Yeah.
stages?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, definitely is. He's picked up his form. He was kind of a backup keeper for a long time, but he's found his feet at Torino now. He's taken a starting spot. And with his brother out in Saudi Arabia, he's just kind of holding down the fort there.
Yeah, so I'll take away 10 million for him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put them into the team then. So we've got Milinkovic-Savic in goal for 5 to 10 million.
Yeah. I got a left back in
Okay.
mind. I mean, he's not someone that I would want to see leave Liverpool, but Kostas Tsimikas.
That's what I
I
was
like him
thinking.
I like him a lot. Last night, I mean, for the goal that we conceded, he runs out about 20 yards out and misses a header. But apart from that, he was absolutely excellent. Got an assist for one of the goals from the corner.
It's a bit liability-ish.
He can
Defensively at times. Same
at
as
times, but going forward, he can be really, really good. And you could probably get. I can imagine if there was like £15 million, I think that Liverpool would probably end up accepting that, because I can't see Liverpool getting much more for him. As much as I definitely don't want to sell him, because I think he's been a really good backup for us since we bought him from Olympiacos. And as you said, he's an international player. He starts week in, week out for Greece at left back.
Do you think a loan to buy could be an option?
That could potentially be an option. I mean,
that seems like.
I think definitely, considering that Robertson's also getting older, so you've got to factor that in for Liverpool. That eventually they are going to have to look at a new left back at some stage.
They do look at a new left. As much as I think Tsimikas could be a starting left back for Liverpool, and he is, I think he's good enough. He has never been given a real opportunity.
No, he's had here and there,
but he's never been.
But he's always a solid backup. He rarely, for me anyway,
I think he's good enough to start.
Rarely has a bad game.
If you can take advantage of like their lack of an opportunity, then 100% you take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's my one Liverpool player that I'd suggest.
Okay.
How much do you reckon Tsimikas is, or do you want me to look it up?
I want to say 15 million. I
You
think
say
that's
roughly 15?
I think that would be enough to let him go.
Let me just see if I can get a valuation just to be sure.
One thing I'm going to put out there as well, at some point,
Helpful.
we will probably want a key kind of marquee signing.
Yes.
Yeah. Like a pretty big name. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like we'll save those for the forward positions, because I feel like we've got some options. I have got some options here, just having a quick look at some numbers.
Yeah.
Potentially another loan deal in central midfield to try and save some money.
Yeah.
Andre Santos is doing very well as a defensive midfielder for Strasbourg, making a lot of tackles, 5.3, the most in Europe currently per game is Andre Santos. So potentially an option there on a loan.
Impressive.
But I think even somebody like, looking at Rabiot, he's on a free.
He's gone to Marseille.
That's it then. Damn it.
Annoyingly.
That's the kind of player I would have looked at,
Like
well, he's a
signing,
very good. He's
yeah.
a very good. He's a very good player.
That big name, free contract, would have been good.
I have a couple
Clarkson.
of defensive players from.
I think Andre Santos because he's on loan from Chelsea.
He is on loan from Chelsea, but you would loan deal. That's why it was cheap.
Possibly.
As an option. We can change that later if we want to.
So sorry, what are we saying on Tsimikas? Are we gonna say go for Tsimikas or just wait out for a bit?
I mean, it depends. I think it also depends on Liverpool's situation on whether they're willing to let him go. I'm not necessarily certain on that, but I'm sure if you put a bid in,
if they go,
they would look at it.
How much would you say Tierney could go for?
Probably 10. The same amount.
Or a free, maybe.
Roughly about the same.
Yeah, Tierney would be. Yeah, that's a good option.
I'd rather have Tsimikas than Tierney. I would
rather have.
I think in the Dutch
but I think in terms
of
if you want it to be more realistic and have a higher chance of one player moving, Tierney's got a higher chance.
You look at the needs of the team, and I think if you're Liverpool, and you're like, okay, I need a new left back, but I need somebody who can cover at centre back. Van Dijk's getting older. Hato is somebody they could look at. And you could go, okay, you can have Hato.
Yeah.
Give us like 55, 60, and then you throw Tsimikas on top.
Yeah.
And that's a deal that I could see happening.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Yeah, that's not improbable.
Because at the moment I've got here Tsimikas or Tierney. Just what would you think would be better, more give or take? Because I thought Tierney would go for about 15 million.
Yeah, it was
50
around
million
that.
pounds, give or take.
Yeah,
I think you
About
could put
20
either of them
million
down
euros.
there, but again, it's about 15 to 20 million, I reckon.
Yeah. Okay. So before we close it, I'll take off the 20 million.
Yeah.
We've got 200 million left. I'll keep both names because they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, we could go for
Later
either
on,
of them.
we'll choose
one.
one.
Choose one.
Fair enough.
A centre back that could be an option is Diego Leite, who plays his
Diego
trade
Leite.
at Union Berlin.
He's been good.
They don't have European football anymore.
No.
How did they do last season?
They
'Cause
really struggled last year for quite a lot of time. I remember them being in the relegation zone around
they were 15th.
November.
And they missed out on the playoff spot, but on goal difference.
Yeah.
So this guy, very talented. I forget where he came through.
Was it West
I
Ham?
want
or
to
was it-
say
It was
Porto.
It was
Yeah.
Porto.
I'm sure he played at West Ham at one point as well.
Braga.
I might be going crazy.
Braga.
Okay, there's someone
Braga
by the
on
same
loan.
name who was there.
He had minutes for 27 games for Porto and then had a loan at Braga and then he got sold to Union Berlin. Very solid, and this season has started very well with 4.3 tackles a game, 1.3 interceptions, and 2.7 clearances. Like pretty well-rounded numbers. Get a chance at European football.
Yeah, I think
Europe
that's the
are
kind of
into
thing that will bring
Champions
him to the
League.
club.
Exactly.
Even just looking at Europa League, if you were to sign him now, I know the transfer window
Mm.
market's closed, but in January,
yeah.
looking at someone like that and going, we can offer you European football. We're pushing
Yeah.
for Champions League football. This
Yeah.
will get you out more,
Union
And we're
Berlin
very
are
good
kind
at
of
bringing
falling
in
apart a
younger
little bit.
players. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
very good at bringing in players and selling them on.
Exactly. So I feel like that could 100 be
Roughly how much?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I think that could be quite expensive. That's the only thing I was thinking.
But they haven't got European football, so it's very difficult to.
Yeah.
Like, they've got a centre back.
How old is he?
15 million. He is 25, so he's young. He'll last a long time, but he's
Yeah.
not so young. That
I don't
he's
think
gonna
he's being
be
sold for more than 20 million. Personally, I don't think Union
I
Berlin
don't
will
think
charge
No, I
a
don't think
massive
he can.
amount.
I think 20. We'll say
Diego
20
Leeds,
mil.
here we go. His current market value is 15 million.
Okay, 15 million.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be too.
I'll go
high.
with 20 million euros then, because that would probably make sense, which will leave us with 180. And let me see how many positions we've
And
got.
I'm pretty
left.
sure his dad is the Olivierense manager.
Oh, Oliver Daines.
Yeah.
So
think
we
so.
have 180 million for a right back, centre back, left wing, and right wing.
We've got a lot of money.
Bear with me. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna have a quick look at
I mean,
some
I
figures.
haven't gotten Andrew Santos yet, so we still have the
Yeah,
centre mid
yeah.
as well.
We could make use of the centre mid. I think it's a good cheap option because it gives us more space to manoeuvre, but we could
Yeah.
always look
I
at some
think,
other
I
options.
think centre mid is one of those positions where we have good cover.
Mm-hmm.
It's just bringing another name in just in case. Do you know what I mean? And if I was to say centre mid, I'd look at somebody who's a bit more attacking.
Yeah.
Someone like kind of Fabio Vieira, who
Yeah,
can play
yeah.
there but push on to kind of connect. Because I think the issue we've got is we don't score many goals.
No.
We haven't really got any good connection between the midfield and the attack.
And the attack.
And we're just we're missing that key. Ziyech can play a 40-yard pass that drops exactly to the
Yeah.
feet and start an attack. We're missing that. I think that's something that we're looking at.
Has Domenico Berardi moved clubs? Because Sassuolo got relegated last season.
He was a great. He
He's
was
a
good for
really,
them, yeah.
really good
Mm.
player. Domenico Berardi.
I have some right back options.
Okay.
So it depends kind of where you're looking at, right? So if you're feeling adventurous and potentially going to the likes of Gladbach and taking Joe Scally might be a good option.
Yeah.
He's now 21. He's still very, very young. If you want to go young with this one, you can do. Or
yeah.
if you wanted to push it a little bit, maybe somebody like Dodo or Koulibaly from Parma or from Fiorentina.
I think Dodo's a good shout.
Is he going to be really expensive though? Because I think he's highly rated, and he dribbles a lot.
He's been good.
He's the highest dribbling fullback in Europe at the moment, and he is completely the most successful, but also the most unsuccessful.
Where's he at? Fiorentina.
Fiorentina.
What
yeah.
about Vanderson? Who's at
Is
Monaco?
he not going to cost 80 million though?
Vanderson, really?
I think he is.
He's at.
That's not. I don't know.
The one at
Whenever
Monaco. I don't know about that.
Because whenever
I know you're going off FM, but I don't think
I am
FM.
going off FM.
I don't think.
Yeah, I
FM
don't think Vanderson
really,
is 80 million
I don't
pounds.
think he's 80 million worth. You know what I mean?
I do get what you mean, but I just think Monaco can ask for that because they can. Like,
I don't
they're
agree.
smooth.
I think if you were to say to us, a player, we've got a better chance of getting Champions League football than Monaco, I think they'd agree.
Why
with
wouldn't
you?
you take it? Yeah.
Yeah, they'd agree with you. If you're a starting Eredivisie player,
Mm-hmm.
you'd rather go to that league where you can
Yeah.
be the best than being in the likes of PSG.
I don't think he
Lyon.
says no. I just think Monaco says no.
I reckon you could get him for what?
He's a market value of 20 million.
Yeah,
I'd
you
say
could get him for like
I'd say
30.
30 mi-
Yeah,
30
30
million,
plus.
you
I
could-
reckon 40 at least.
I think 35 million you could put off.
You
for
can
Vanderson.
get him for that, and then
if you
bring
can
him
do
in.
that deal, you do it. I just think. I also think Dodo would cost about the same. So I think you could go for either one of those options, and they would.
They're in the Champions League as well, aren't they, this year, Monaco, as you said?
Mm.
Yeah.
Which would be difficult to try and persuade him, but Who knows with the right
I mean,
amount of money?
For example, if we're getting rid of Berghaus, if we were to get rid of him,
Yeah.
that would free up a lot of wage as well.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. I'll put 40 million down
Yeah.
between Vanderson and Dodo. Once again, we'll come back to it and change.
Yeah.
So we've still got 140 million for a centre-back, centre-mid, left and right winger.
Right.
We need another centre back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have
But
you
We could technically put left and right winger in it together to just make
potentially.
one winger who could play both sides. Because I said we did bring in Bertrand Traore. We do have players from the academy who can come in and play there.
Yeah.
Realistically, we'd want to sign both. But if it would be better to play one player who can play both sides, we're better off doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying.
I am. Yeah. As I mentioned Berardi earlier, I'm quite interested to see if he has moved.
I think Berardi would be a great shout.
So who have we got as centre back currently?
So centre back, I've got Diogo Leite.
So would you rather have somebody experienced or somebody a bit younger who can grow? What kind of look? What you?
I think we need experience in the team, and I think someone like, for example, Tini or Timikas brings that in, brings an experience. Vanderson, Dodo, I don't think they do.
They're still 25. Like
That's
it's
the thing.
Still quite
I think
old.
the difference. I know, but the difference is with Tini and Timikas is they've had international experience.
Okay.
But you know,
I may have a choice for you then at
Okay.
centre back. He's 27. You will know the name, but you might not have known of him being a world star. But he is performing as one of the best intercepting, pressing centre backs in the Europe at the moment. That's Nico Elvedi.
Oh, Elvedi, who's from
Playing
Mönchengladbach.
Gladbach.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
He's Swiss, isn't he? I
He
wanna
is
say.
indeed Swiss.
Yeah.
I don't think I suggested someone from Gladbach earlier, but I don't think it was one we went for. So I think potentially if you're just going for one player, they're willing to do a deal for a 27-year-old.
Yeah.
Um,
So how much would that be?
That would be again. I'm going to look it up. Bear with me because some of these it's weird how little.
Yeah,
have in this.
because that could push quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of experienced centre backs, and for some reason, Azpilicueta keeps on popping in and out my head.
I think,
But I feel like he's a bit.
I'm
I don't know if I want him as a centre back. The only way
No.
I want to play him is if he was
Right
in a back three
I'd want
Yeah.
him
or as
yeah.
a right back.
I think at the moment in the market, there's not that many. You know, I
No,
think
yeah.
Elvedi's someone good. I think someone like I think if you were to go for somebody expensive, I'd look at someone like Christian Andersen. I think could easily fit into this kind of team.
Yeah,
What I know he'd
Who
cost
was that? Sorry,
Christian Andersen,
where's he?
Palace. Is
Gone
it
to Fulham.
Palace?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Fulham
He's just
now.
left to Fulham.
That's what I mean. I think
He
someone
is
like him,
too good. in my
or
opinion.
even what's the Brentford centre back? They've got the Danish centre back at Brentford, and
Oh, I
his
know
name's
the
got
name.
You know who I mean?
There's Ben Mee, there's Pinnock, there's
No.
Christopher. Oh yeah,
Christopher Ayer.
Yeah.
I think someone like him would.
yeah.
be
I think that'd be a
Played
good
Scotland.
signing.
you could get
yeah.
him for about 30 million,
Yeah.
give or take.
And I think he'd be
think
willing to move because there's no European football for
He's
Brentford.
the kind of player that I think
Yeah.
fits into that team
What
Yeah.
instead
foot?
of Diogo Leite. I think
What foot is Diego Leite? Left-footed.
he's left-footed.
And
And
then
then
Ayer-
Elvedi is right-footed,
Ayer's
and
right
he's
as
valued
well.
at 10 million.
Is Ayer right-footed?
Yeah, I believe so.
Hang on.
That's
he
the
plays
thing.
he plays at right. He can play at right back as well.
I think that you want to have a left. I'm in the school of thought that I want to have a left and a right footer. Yeah, he is right.
I think that's the thing. That's why
Also,
we've got hard.
Buying from the Premier League is harder to do because you're going to pay a lot more for a lot less.
Not necessarily, because I think, for example, one player that I had on my rank for right wing would be Reece Nelson.
Yeah,
I think you'd get him for 20 million euros.
Yeah, in all fairness, he is
Possibly even 15 million euros. I don't think so. I think he's got a year and a half
I'm
left.
not sure. In all
But
honesty,
I think someone
don't
like
know.
him for right wing would be good because he's
He can
cheap.
play on both sides.
Yeah.
Do you not
Yeah.
want to put the money where your mouth is for the winger positions?
There's two winger spots.
True.
And there's still 140 million. So how much would Elvedi be?
I think I said it was 10, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yep. So 10
to
million.
15. Like,
So that leaves us with 130 million for left, right, and centre mid.
mm-hmm.
So
let's
if you-
leave centre mid for a minute. Let's have a look
Cool.
at some.
So if I did
specific-
right wing, if I did Nelson, realistically, you're gonna sign Nelson for 15 mil, right?
Yeah.
Give or
Mhm.
take. So if I did 15 mil, that would leave us with 115 million
Yeah,
for then a right back and for then a left winger and a centre mid. You could easily go and spend 60-40 or
yeah.
70-30. You know, you could easily go and spread that out further.
Mhm.
So let me go and put. We've got 115 million left.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look at successful
Cool.
goals. Because there's a lot of dribblers. When you think of winger, you think of a lot of successful wingers. Okay, here's some options then. Adama Traore is doing very well at dribbling, very strong, very physical.
I don't think he works in the Eredivisie. That's one thing I would say. I don't.
You don't think physicality? Because you look at the target forward as a very
That's what I mean. I think you'd rather have a winger who could cross it in and cut in at the same time.
Okay.
That's why I like Reece Nelson. He can play on that left side, cutting on the right, or he can play on the right and cross it in to the target forward. Don't forget we've got Brobby, who's good in the air. Akpom's good. Verkos is great in the air.
Yeah,
you know.
we all know that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my FM save was saved by him. 1-0 down, put him on, scored two back-to-back back post headers.
I do get what you mean. I mean, if you want a creative force to play out wide, potentially somebody like Alex Baina at Villarreal is somebody I looked at for Man United as a potential backup to Bruno, a much more rounded, creative.
Would you say he's more central though than
he
is?
He does operate centrally, but he has minutes at the right wing position as well.
I mean,
and the left wing position as well. Okay. So he could do both.
I was saying a couple of weeks ago on the Purple Show, so that Brian Hill has really impressed me to start the season at Girona. I know he's on loan from Tottenham.
Yeah,
but
he's going to drive his price up,
I can't see him unless. Well, I mean, potentially could go back to Tottenham and try and work his way back in.
Yeah.
But I felt like just last season, the lack of the minutes that he got, on the from the bench and stuff. I don't know. I feel like a lot of Tottenham fans have sort of gone, if you go, we're not too disappointed. But I'd like to see him get a chance back there because I think he's a good player. He started the season very well, and I think he'd suit. He can cut inside. He can cross the ball.
He's another one that's kind of with Nelson, kind of.
Yeah.
Or I think the other one that I had was Marcus Edwards.
Yes.
Ex-Tottenham.
Agreed.
Doing very well in Portugal. Is on the likes of Gonçalves, but I think Gonçalves would be so expensive.
Yeah.
He's already at Juve now. He's probably going to stay there.
Whereas someone like Edwards would be a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
I think he's got that flair that you'd want. Probably the most expensive of the three.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The other option would potentially be, I think Gill's more of a left winger anyway. I think he plays the majority of his minutes off the left.
Yeah, he's left-footed though, which is good. So he can,
he could do both.
He can do both.
Reece Nelson's a right winger who's right-footed.
Right-footed.
So we've got to fill two positions. Good. Yeah, we've got.
Yeah, if you want to fill two positions, yeah.
I know Orsolini as a right winger is a good option. The last kind of great stone of Bologna that's not been pulled apart. He's always been.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, they got Champions League football this year at least. Anyway,
well, they're going to go crashing out, and then that's going to be them done.
Well, yeah, it might be. It might be next summer when he.
Yeah,
potentially. But we're looking at the summer. They would already have been knocked out of Europe.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking for January by this kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Potentially Ijuk, who's at Seville.
Ijuk is a good shout. Yeah.
He dribbles a lot. He got a lot of key passes, so he can do a bit of both.
Yeah.
I don't have crossing numbers annoyingly because that's what I was looking for, crossing numbers, but I don't have them, irritatingly.
I thought someone like Mbeumo
has got great numbers.
If you were to go out and just spend money, someone like him, what he's done at Brentford, I think.
Yeah,
fits,
I think
he fits the Ajax ethos.
Yeah,
he does. But I wonder how much Brentford ask for, because he is their best player.
60 odd million.
Least 60,
I don't think he goes higher than that.
Yeah,
and I think
still a lot of money
with
from
I think with the budget left, I think he's
yeah.
The kind of
I mean,
player
in all
that
honesty, I would not. I mean, before we got Chiesa in at Liverpool, I would have happily taken Mbeumo happily because I think he can become
40 million valuation. And that's low.
Yeah, I think he could become a really, really top quality winger because I think he's done really well at Brentford anyway in terms of his numbers and he's always such a threat. Him and Vissa up top, they cause a lot of teams problems. And
exactly.
As I just said, he can play up top as well. He can play on the right. He can do a bit of both. And he's just a really good player.
Yeah.
I mean, inevitably when Salah goes, let's say in a couple of years' time, he's still at Brentford and he's still banging in.
Probably would go there.
For 12, 13 goals a season for Brentford. I'd say, why not? Why not pay the 50, 60 and then get him in?
Yeah.
And then he'll probably hit for Liverpool 15 goals a season, and I'd more than happily take that.
He's always been consistent. I never think he's been world class. He has scored 3 in.
Well, no, yeah, but I feel like he's at that sort of age where if he does make a move, he could potentially become that.
So I've got 2 names here, one for centre mid and one for right wing.
Go on.
I think centre mid would be splashing out a lot of money,
Yeah.
and I think right wing would be give or take, but I think would be an investment. So I'll start with the right winger, and I went for Rooney Bargi
Oh yes.
from
Yes.
FC
Copenhagen.
where he's 18, brilliant player. I've luckily seen him live for Copenhagen, incredible player. I think he wouldn't cost more at the moment than about 10, 15 million. But I think at Ajax he would develop into a very quality player.
Copenhagen have had some real big stars come through in recent years.
I think
100% somewhere I would.
I think for right wing, I think someone like him would be brilliant. And then for centre mid, I had the idea of bringing back Xavi Simons, who's
don't think they go for it.
I think he's someone who's not getting much game time at PSG. If you could offer him a starting role at Ajax, pushing for Champions League football, and you said you build a team around him, I don't see why he wouldn't come back.
I would love the idea of him to come back.
It would work so well.
But
That's what I don't think he gets into the PSG team. I don't know why. They just don't like him.
Well, I just think it's the system that Enrique plays. He doesn't really like playing with a number 10, and that's
That's
where
why I think they're going to get rid of him.
Xavi Simons fits in, and that's why he's gone back on loan to RB Leipzig again this season. So
that's why I think they.
I think they'll sell him next summer. I just feel like for him,
he
because
could go to a bigger team.
Yeah, in terms of
like a buy-in almost.
Yeah,
or us. I don't think he goes doing that deal.
I think if he goes to United, he ruins his career. Sorry,
well,
but
that's
it's true.
a different debate. But I see us matching that.
Yeah,
bid.
I worry with him and
Bayern
Bruno. That's what I'd worry about.
I see Leipzig matching that bid. Even Leipzig.
I see him go to Arsenal. To be fair,
he could potentially
as an attacking midfielder.
I'm not seeing anything about it, but potentially he could fit quite well. I had a different suggestion for central midfield. Again, similar kind of. I guess a similar kind of style of player. He's done the same positions. A lot cheaper. In fact, he's a free.
Okay.
But just a club legend, and I will be so happy to see him back at your club and not at mine as Christian Eriksen.
Because
again, the legs don't matter as much in the Eredivisie. You don't have to be as quick. You saw he's still got goals in him, and it's like that experience, that age, that the thing of playing for Ajax. He's played for them before, like having a club icon in there to lead the team, be captain. You give him the captain's armband as well.
But doesn't that clash with David Klaassen? We've just brought David Klaassen back, who's pretty much the same age. But the thing is then we've got someone like Kenneth Taylor at the moment, at least, who would push on into that role. And I think he'd only stay. I think he'd only stay for a year or two, and we'd be back in the problem we're in.
But that's a year or two. It gives you time to bring
that's
people
why
more
I think
talent.
we'd be looking at 24 to 27-year-olds now to build. Don't forget, we need current solutions.
This guy would be a solution for 2 years, and then he would die. But by that point, Kim Fitz-Jay might be unreal.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, 100%. I did also think about bringing back Van der Beek.
Yeah,
I don't know why we didn't do that. I think it would have made sense.
He ended up at Girona. Is he doing well at Girona?
He's not really getting in the team, to be
exactly.
totally honest.
He's not really playing.
No.
So I thought bringing someone like him back. So I'm going to take out.
So
I'm going to take out Andre Santos. I think Rooney Bargi at that right wing. Just
I'm
makes
quite
sense.
happy with that.
Because
Rooney Bargi, who's the left winger then?
Hold on. So if I put Bargi here,
so are we looking for an attacking midfielder or a more central midfielder that attacks?
Kind of a central midfielder who attacks. I'm
right.
Gonna say
Okay.
he's
If not,
about
I was gonna say just try and bring. Well, I'm not sure. I don't think it would happen, but like
we've got 115 million for a centre mid and a left winger.
Yeah.
I think you need to put a statement down.
I'd love to see Firmino back in Europe.
I'd like to put Baena down as a left winger.
Who?
As an option.
Who?
Baena, so Baena, plays for Villarreal.
Oh, Baena.
Is a creative machine at 23. He's going to be expensive, but I'll look at it in just 1 second. I'm just going to have a look at if there are any other options, basically. In terms of dribblers, because this guy, we're looking. If the right winger is Rooney, who is a goal scoring kind of right winger, but is young still. This guy has to.
We've got 115 million to spend.
Yeah, and you think a lot of that could be wages, which is why I was thinking.
But no, so this is without wages. So that budget I've done is
so your budget without wages. Even still, like
so 115 mil
I mean,
for a left wing.
You know, if you wanted to go for an out-and-out attacking midfielder, I feel like sort of since Dusan Tadic has left, would you feel like you've replaced Tadic since he's left? No,
not at all. That's the left wing position. He played in that left wing position. That's what we need.
I have an option, and this is good. I'm quite happy I found this. This guy has won league titles everywhere he's gone.
Coman.
Kingsley
Coman.
Kingsley
Coman. Do you
Coman
reckon he
is
would go?
doable. He loves
I
winning league
think
titles.
he
so
would.
He would go to win a league title.
Yeah.
And
push him into Europe, I think.
It might be a case you have to loan him first.
I think if you built a team around him, yeah.
I think it's doable because I don't see Juve coming back in for him. I don't see a Prem team coming in for him. And I don't see PSG coming in for him at the moment.
Yeah.
That could change. If PSG came in for him, he'd choose PSG
I feel like maybe later on in his career.
I think maybe a year or two. Same with Leroy Sané. I
no
think
one
he's
wants
someone
him,
like in
and
like
he's
a year
not
or two.
because you've got Leroy Sané, Kingsley Coman, and Serge Gnabry to fill one spot. One of those has to go.
Well,
and Coman's not getting minutes.
Well, one of them will go.
But
inevitably.
I don't
know. I don't know.
I don't
to
think that he'd
Ajax.
go to Ajax. That's the thing.
But it's a league title win.
I understand that, but I still.
But do you think he's that obsessed with keeping that record up?
Yeah, 100%.
I think he'd.
And there is no links to him.
I think he'd. I think. Genuinely, I think he'd rather go to like a Fulham or something than he would Ajax.
But Fulham aren't linked with him either.
No,
they
but
can't afford his wages.
I feel like he could go to. The thing is, I feel like we're sort of underrating him in a little bit. I think he's a really good
No,
quality player.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not at all.
Yeah,
Arsenal were speaking about signing him recently.
But they did.
I think he would have fit. I know that.
They went with Sterling instead.
Yeah.
Which I think says something.
I think so.
Well, I think it says. I think it says more about
clubs-
Mikel Arteta's relationship with Sterling.
Yeah.
Well, no, maybe, but I also think it says something about how clubs value him currently. I think he's awesome, but I don't think many other clubs do. So I reckon you could do that if you acted quickly and like loan with an option to buy.
Yeah, potentially.
In
Potentially. I mean,
Possibly. I think it
it's
depends
not
on how
in-
many minutes
yeah.
he gets. I can't see that not happening.
Because if he doesn't get, no big club is going in for him, and then if he goes to like a Fulham, he's not going to get Champions League football. If he goes to you and gets you into Champions League football, that's a lot easier to do than getting Fulham Champions League football.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in it regularly if he's there.
I think
he's there.
one of the players that I wanted us to sign maybe would have been like Smith Rowe. I think he would have been a good signing at that left wing position.
It's a
I think
shame
he would have fit
left.
in. So yeah, as I said, we've still got 115 million. We've got a left wing and a centre mid.
How much is Kingsley Coman? I'm intrigued.
Ericsson on a free? I've put that here, but I still think that's only like a year solution. You get him on a 1 year contract.
yeah. So
But
what's the
central
formation?
midfielder wasn't
Is it a
something
4-2-3-1?
We play 4-3-3.
4-3-3.
So you play DM, 2 centre mids,
DM, 2 centre
left
mids.
wing, right wing, and striker.
Oh, I would have suggested Firmino if it was a number 10.
Unfortunately, we've got enough striker. We don't need any more.
No,
strikers.
no,
That's
I'm
it.
not talking
No,
him
yeah,
as
no,
a
if we
striker.
played
I'm
it-
talking
if we
him
played
as an
number 10.
attacking midfielder because
Yeah.
I think his creative output would be amazing.
How's Mane doing out in Saudi Arabia?
Mane's doing well. I
He's
think
the kind of player that I
he's
feel
still
like
he's still
could
getting
be tempted to
he's
come
still
back.
getting loads of
Yeah.
minutes at Al Nassr.
Has-
He's starting all the time. He's still a top
It's a
quality
money
player.
thing. Surely it's a money thing.
That's a wages thing.
I think it's also it's down to him whether he's enjoying. I think he's enjoying the lifestyle out
Yeah.
there for
Is
him, which I think.
I think that's why we brought back Henderson. Henderson just didn't enjoy
Hendon
it.
didn't enjoy it. Yeah, he was there for
Yeah.
6 months and he's
I get
left.
why you did
Yeah.
that deal, but it didn't go well.
Probably wasn't the best deal. I think he's been better this season. I think the issue he had is he was playing with such lower quality in the rest of
Well,
Saudi
yeah, it's going to take
Arabia.
time for him
Yeah.
to get back up. He's a good
This
player.
year he's come back. Yeah,
He's
don't
a
get me
good
wrong.
player. He's a good player.
Yeah,
He's a good player, Henderson.
So
Definitely.
we've got, as I said, 115 million, a left winger, and
Coman's 50.
Coman 50, which would give us 65 for a centre mid. If we just went out for one big centre mid.
But I don't know if centre because you got a lot of centre. You said already you've got a lot of central midfielders.
yeah, but don't
Just
forget,
adding one
if
body.
we
How-
sell Kenneth Taylor,
about
with-
Ruben Neves.
Ruben Neves, yeah.
Do you reckon he would come back?
Ruben Neves, where?
Well, he's in Saudi
in
Arabia at
Saudi.
the moment,
Oh yeah, that Ruben Neves.
and he's only about 25, 26, I believe.
Has he ever played for Ajax before?
No, he was at Wolves, wasn't he?
I thought you said because he'd come back. Oh, you mean come back to Europe?
Come back to Europe.
There you go.
That's what I mean. To come back to Europe.
Again, it depends if he's earned enough money. They only went out there to make loads of money. Once they're done with that, they come back. But
yeah.
I don't know if
But I feel like he's still
or Neves would be done with that.
I don't think it's out the realms for Neves because, I know he played a massive part at Porto in the Champions League when he was a young player.
Yeah.
But since he was at Wolves for so many years, he didn't really seem overly fussed with like trying to go ahead and move to a bigger team to compete
Yeah.
for like
I found crosses.
Champions League and Europa League. But it seems that I can imagine. I think this would be his second at the end of this season. It would be his second season
yeah.
in Saudi Arabia. Potentially, he'd want to come back. I mean,
I think if we spent money on him, an option for left wing would be Jota, who went out to Saudi.
Saudi,
the Celtic
He
one.
is now at Rennes.
Right, but I think he's somebody that we could easily tempt to go from Rennes to Ajax, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think he's the kind of player.
Agreed.
He's
exciting as
23,
well.
24, I want to say, young.
Yeah.
What he brings is what Bergwijn did, but he has a better attitude.
Right.
And I think that's the thing. Same with midfielders. I think someone like Guendouzi would be good. I don't think he would leave. I think if he was to leave, I think someone like him would be good.
Weirdly enough, has very, very good attributes to be a fullback.
Guendouzi.
On Football Manager, I signed him for Man United and played him at right back, and he was our best player.
Yeah.
Whilst he was learning the position as well, like he was still awkward, and he was the best player in that team every game.
I would say so. We've got 65, which would be enough to. So I'll go through this. So we've got Milinkovic-Savic in goal. Who would we pick between Vanderson and Dodo? Given that they're both about the same, who would you say would be more impactful in the team, realistically? I think Vanderson is more likely to go than Dodo. Realistically.
I think Monaco have Champions League football, and I think Fiorentina don't. I think that says it all. I think
he's a key player in Fiorentina. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. But he's a key player for a team that doesn't have Champions League football, easier to recruit.
What do you think, Lloyd?
It's
a 50-50.
It's a 50-50
They're both very good
call.
players.
Yeah, they're both decent players. I mean,
should go Dodo.
Yeah, personally, I think I would just, as Henry said, just because of the Champions League football, and Vanderson has been there for a few seasons now, and he's sort of implementing himself into that Monaco side who's gotten
he's also
that
had
Champions League football.
Vanderson's had more links with United. Have been linked with him, like big clubs.
United linked with everyone, man.
Yeah, I know, but
stop fucking trying.
But like our big clubs have been linked with Vanderson before. I just
So 2 centre backs, Diogo Leite and Elvedi. I think both are good.
I'm happy with that. Was that 30 million for the pair of them?
Yep.
How much are you getting for one of your centre backs? Like more than 30?
Yeah.
Hato, give or take, we want.
Yeah,
70.
he'll be a lot of money.
Yeah,
you're gonna 70. So
you're gonna turn that into a new centre back pairing and have some profit.
Him and Sutalo would be about 40, so that's about 110 altogether.
Or Hato,
exactly.
That's crazy.
You sell Shutalo and get a new centre back pairing, and then you sell somebody else as well. Get more money.
Left back, what we saying? We've got.
I think Tierney's more realistic.
I think Tierney's more realistic.
It's definitely doable for now, but I think Tsimikas is doable as well.
I think they both are.
I don't think it's impossible to get Tsimikas. I think
Tierney's more realistic for this.
Yeah, and potentially Tsimikas. I think he's quite happy in Liverpool. He seems to be really pleased. He's quite satisfied with being a backup player. He's not overly fussed to getting too many minutes. Whilst I feel like for Tierney,
he'd
want to be starting week in week out.
Tierney wants to leave. That's the thing.
Would you rather have Tierney or Tsimikas?
Personally, for me, Tsimikas.
Because this is the thing. I think like as long as it's doable, you go for the best option.
But I think the reason I'd go Tierney is because if you're to change the whole defence, you want somebody
he's got a point to prove,
more defensive minded, who has actually he's got
a point to prove. Tierney, he needs because I remember 3-4 years ago discussing with Arsenal fans, Tierney's better. I'd have some people say Tierney's better than Andy Robertson. He's one of the best left backs in the league. Yeah. That was the sort of.
Well, that was the
also he had that period of time where he had that period of time where he was probably one of the best players in the league, but then when it got injured, this is the issue with him, is he's very injury prone.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So
are you not worried about that?
Yeah, but that's not for me to worry about at the moment. I'm just here to do the transfers.
Just here to do the transfers.
Centre mid, I've got Ericsson on the free.
I think we leave that at that. I think you revisit that problem in 2 years when he.
As I said, I've still got. As I'm going to go through. So Coleman left wing, 50 mil. That's if we could get him, for example.
I think that's doable.
I think Barty at right wing, realistically for me, is probably the best signing.
That's doable. Yeah,
I think that's a signing that could genuinely happen.
I could elevate the team. Yeah,
I think. But same with someone that you will know from FM, Naipan. For midfield.
Oh, you could do that deal. You could do that
someone
deal
like
and
him.
loan him out for a season.
Naipan, very cheap, very good at Rosenborg. Be about 12 million, give or take.
Yeah.
Because that's the team we've got, and we've got 65 million left.
Another kind of centre mid option. I don't think it would happen because I think he's coming back to us. But Angel Gomez is also on a free. Is a young.
You think he's going back to Manchester United?
I don't think he is.
That's been posted already. That's going to happen.
I'd rather.
By who?
By everybody, all the top journalists.
I think
he's coming back.
Yeah, he's going on a free.
Why would he do that?
He's going to replace Ericsson at the end of the season.
Why?
But he's another option that you could.
The only position I'd look here and go realistically, I think we could get a better keeper and probably spend more money is goalkeeper. Because I think 5 to 10 million is good, but I think
but it can be better.
we could get a younger keeper. Given we've got 65 left, I think spend more money and get more longevity from that. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just having a look at some of the best keepers.
So I think someone like Bailo, I know he wouldn't come because of course he's Feyenoord, he wouldn't play for us.
Yeah.
But someone like him, even Sillison is a good keeper.
Yes.
Played for us before.
You could. Sillison would be good. I wonder if you go for a wonder kid. I wonder if you go and say get Restes out of Toulouse or something like that. Is
I
doable.
Think like Areola or something like.
Areola was a solid keeper. Leno was another solid keeper.
I think someone like Leno, Areola, that kind of like quality.
Which one do you want me to look at?
Yeah, the only thing that I worry about with Leno is if does your team still pass out from the back?
Oh yeah, good point. Never mind.
Yeah, Leno's distribution.
32 as well.
Leno's distribution is.
You know, someone I know he's old, but someone who I think would be good would be somebody like Hudreki from Finland.
Yeah,
yes,
he's good.
Did he leave or is he still there?
No, he's still there. Or even like if we were looking at a short-term option, I think someone like Schmeichel, Kasper Schmeichel would be brilliant.
I thought about him. He's just gone to Anderlecht and he's doing
That's
quite well.
the thing. I think it's just the age.
Yeah, Areola's 31.
Yeah, I don't see why not. But at the same time, I think getting somebody like, trying to get a younger keeper, I know it's a bit difficult at the moment. There's not really that many.
No.
But I think there's
he brings a lot of experience.
I think one player that would be good is Bento from Brazil. He's now probably going to be
leave to go Saudi though.
I don't know. Look it up for me. But he's probably going to be our starting keeper once Alisson Ederson retire.
Right.
I think realistically he would be happy to come to Europe.
He went to Al Nassr.
Yeah, because Ederson, there was the Ederson situation.
Ederson, yeah.
But I think he's the kind of player
25.
I think he's the kind of player that in a year or two, or if he doesn't like it, could easily be tempted to go to a team like Ajax.
I don't mind Areola,
Yeah.
You forget he's won 3 Ligue 1 titles, 1 La Liga, 1 Conference League, won the World Cup. He has brought a lot of experience and winners' medals to Ajax. Can lead from the back. He's 31 now, so he's a bit older. Has worked with the likes of Sergio Ramos at 2 different clubs.
Yeah,
has worked with
Thiago
Silva, Marquinhos. Like, you think how good leadership, communication he's got.
Yeah,
based on his
I think
experience.
having 70 million would be left in the bank, for example.
Yeah.
I think someone like Areola who would go for about 40 million, give or less.
Would you
less than that?
What would you think?
Less than that.
30.
Would you think like
Less
Bart Verbruggen from
Verbruggen
Brighton?
Could be.
Where did he come from?
Verbruggen's a good shout.
Where did he come from?
I don't think.
I think he was in Belgium.
Yeah,
I want to say
I
Club.
don't
Was it? I want to say Club Bruges, but
he's Dutch. But I think Verbruggen could be a brilliant shout.
Nak Breda.
Nak Breda, was it?
And then Anderlecht.
Anderlecht, right?
Yeah, he'd happily sign for us.
But yeah, I
think
think
that's a great shout.
because I think he's good on the ball. He's comfortable with his distribution. The only thing that would worry me potentially is how good Brighton do this season, because they seem like they're going to have a pretty good campaign. So it depends whether they want to sell him.
He started both games for Holland currently.
Yeah,
well, he's the first choice keeper. He was the first choice keeper at the
Brighton
Euros.
are pushing for European football when I thought they were going to get I thought they were going to be relegation.
A relegation battle.
I did.
Outrageous.
I thought their best
Absolutely crazy.
I honestly believe that if you said, especially to a Dutchman, I think if you said you could get a European football with Brighton, or go to Ajax in the Netherlands, offer you first team football, and say you're going to challenge for a title.
He is Dutch.
Challenge for a title with that team. I genuinely do believe.
I don't think it's out the realms of possibility. I think
about 40 million, give or take.
It will be more than that.
I don't think so.
Brighton are going to demand a high fee because I think they paid a high fee.
Right, but I think he could force a move, and he would happily go there. That's the thing.
I think he'd be worth the money though.
I'd say you'd pay up to about 55 million.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth the money.
I think he'd be worth it.
Bear with me, let me check this, because I think they're gonna demand a really, really high fee.
I think about 55 million is what you'd up to pay.
I mean, if they're demanding
he's
a ridiculous,
valued at 18, but I don't think that's accurate.
What's that?
He's valued at 18, but I think you'd pay up to 55 because it's Premier League as well.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how well he's going to get on this season. I think that of course depends whether his market value, because last year under De Zerbi, he did a really weird thing of rotating Jason Steele and Bart Verbruggen throughout the whole season, which he seems to like doing with goalkeepers, which
he did it with Steele, and he
which
did it
is
with
bizarre.
Raya. Not Raya. He did it with Sanchez as well. He played well and then dropped him.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, no, all the managers have done that.
Yeah.
Potter did it. What's his face did it. New guy, I haven't seen much. He seems to have started. He's now starting pretty much every game.
Yeah.
And he's starting for the Dutch national team. Like,
he's a good keeper. He's a
Well,
very good
I
keeper.
don't know how realistic that one is.
I don't think it's out the realm.
I don't think it's out. But on that note, I will wrap up here by going. We've got 15 million left, and I'll just go through the team.
Cool, go through the team.
for it.
So we've got Verbruggen at goalkeeper, about 55, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Dodo at right back, about 40 million. It's all in euros.
Yeah.
The centre back partnership is Diogo Leite for 20 million, Elvedi for 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tierney at left back for 20. Ericsson on a free, just to kind of bring in that kind of experience that we needed.
And
International
who's his
football.
partner's going to be?
He'd probably play alongside.
Would it be Henderson?
Would be Henderson and Mundsverk.
Yeah.
If Taylor was to leave. If Taylor stayed, he'd probably play alongside Taylor.
Or would you drop Henderson for that and play?
No, I'd say I'd drop Mundsverk and play Henderson as a DM.
Okay.
Left, we've got Koeman, be about 50 mil. And I think the most realistic one here would be Rooney Bargy.
15
to 20
Yeah,
million.
brilliant.
That screams
From
Ajax.
FC Copenhagen.
Yeah.
It's just someone that he would easily walk into the team.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of sums it up.
And who plays up front?
Up front, I would personally go Akpom.
Akpom.
I think Akpom.
We'll have him drop into the midfield and then use your
I think
wingers for-
Akpom is like a pressing
okay.
forward.
Yeah.
And then if you need that rotation, I would always take off the centre mid and play Brian Brobbey and Verhorst up top together.
Oh, okay.
Because I think having one knock it down to the other is chaos. And I just love chaos ball. And I think the
Who doesn't?
Dutch centre backs aren't going to know what to do with that.
Agreed.
So that's the Ajax team. And
That's not a bad
that's
little
what my
rebuild.
page looks like. It's absolute chaos. I'm covered in marker. I'm absolutely
Yeah.
covered in marker. I can't read anything I'm writing, and
I think we've done well
actually
there.
do something.
We
well
have.
this
I think
year.
we've gone ahead and rebuilt.
Yeah,
We've
it
actually
does help.
rebuilt pretty well.
It
Yeah,
does help that you've sold a lot of big names and got a lot of money that we are able to spend this kind of
Yeah.
money on big players.
I'd also want to see how many of these genuinely could come into fruition.
We'll find out in 12
It's always
months.
fun doing like a FIFA career mode where you sign a player and then 2 years later they sign him.
Actually comes true.
Yeah, I did that on
It's
FIFA.
cool.
FIFA 11. I signed Giroud at Arsenal, and then 2 years later they signed him. And I was like, I knew it. I told you
mean
it was going to
Chelsea?
happen.
I knew.
You
Yeah.
mean Chelsea.
I knew it, but yeah.
God. Yeah. Well,
all
that's
you.
that was a good rebuild, boys. It's been
Yeah.
a while since I've done them. They are really
Yeah,
fun.
It's
they are.
actually right. It's fun doing that, right?
Yeah, well, like I think realistically we should have done a bit of I should have had the players ready to go, but it is what it is. We will
Picked
do
out a
some
good
more of
team.
these if you enjoy them. We can do them as podcast extras, or we can do them here when we have the time.
Yeah.
If there's a specific team that you want to see us do next, please let us know. Obviously, it's one of these things where where a team falls apart and we then do it, so it's very reactionary. But if you have any ideas, please tell us.
Yeah, there's a lot of clubs that have fallen apart.
Who knows? Maybe in a few months' time
Yeah.
it will be a Tottenham one.
Mate, we could be doing something today, to be honest. Let's be honest. No, who wants to help them? Sorry, but we don't want to help
Yeah.
them.
In all
We
fairness,
love it.
I saw a TikTok the other day where it was like they've currently got a team to play really good Conte football, and I kind of agree. Like a back three with the wing backs, like it would kind of work really well.
Yeah, but the Conte's not the manager, so
No, he's not anymore.
he's not.
Once
Yeah.
Conte left, then they built a Conte team. and then
Exactly.
went,
What's the
where's
point?"
Conte? Oh, we sacked him.
they're going to get rid of Poch and then go, we've got a Poch team? Yeah, why? You have the team at the time then.
It's stupid, but yeah, like I say, let us know tomorrow down below what kind of ideas you'd have for future rebuilds. Any other thoughts you have on the podcast? Leave us a like. What else can they do? You can donate if you want to. I'm not going to do the whole spiel anymore. We're done with that.
Let us know who they would sign for Ajax.
Yeah, all your Ajax signings, what you thought of our Ajax signings, obviously as well. Let us know.
Gonna get cussed out here.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Obviously, all our guys' socials are down below now as well, so you can go and check them out. I don't know if you're.
Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, you
I
are
checked.
there.
I'm
Okay,
there.
good, yeah,
Don't
yeah,
worry, I'm
nice,
still there.
So go and check out all of their social bits and pieces, and we'll be back next week with another Baloo podcast. I'll see you guys later.